All righty. Do you really think that the Eagles and the Chiefs are really that hated? Is it really that bad? Are we really that upset that the Chiefs are going to go back to the Super Bowl? Is it that upsetting, everybody? We're not really happy for the whole entire franchise of the Kansas City Chiefs? No? Okay, fine. You do what you want, say what you want. We still going to talk about it because it's time to talk some of this good old sports ball. And we got a special guest in the building today, so let's go ahead and chat on it. I don't have an intro for this yet, so let's just go ahead and get right on. Let's just get right on into it. I'm your boy, the real Vince Taylor, and I'm joined obviously by the homies. Let's go ahead and get a little thump in the bit, you know what I'm saying? Go ahead and thump a little something, you know what I'm saying? Bounce real quick. We reporting live from the St. Louis Cardinals mansion. I'm right now today in my loft, sitting there talking with the homeboy Bad Ty on some crazy stuff going on. The NFL is live. We do now have the Super Bowl. We know who it's going to be. It's going to be your Philadelphia Eagles, because you know how New York people, they just root for whatever team is winning in their area, versus the Kansas City Chiefs from Missouri. This is kind of a home-based thing right here, bro. See, I'm not a Chiefs fan. I should be, but I'm not. You know what I mean? And however, I guess I should root for from Missouri or whatever, but it is what it is, man. We'll talk about that in a little bit, but we also have another special guest in the building I want to go ahead and bring to the forefront, and hopefully he can join us even more in the future. This is a comedian, my homeboy, all the way from Duval to New York, and now in ATL. It's none other than the homie Solo Jizzles. What's good, Solo?
What's up, people? I'm in the goddamn building. You understand me? See? And we're going to talk about it. We're going to talk about it. God damn it, we're going to talk about it.
All right, Solo. Ooh. So, all right, it feels so dope to be on screen with like two of my closest friends. And I ain't going to lie, Solo and I are comedy compadres. We've traveled this country doing comedy all over the place. And I actually...
You travel the world. I travel the United States. You travel the world.
I mean,
it's a big difference. It's a big difference from United and the world. He's a world traveler. I am a city norm, east to west, the United States, no passport traveling comedian.
Cut the shit, bro. Let's be real, man. The only reason you ain't traveling the world is because you ain't applied for that passport, like I keep telling you. So it's just around the corner for you, old boy.
I am writing down all the bullshit that Vince will be saying today.
I thought he was doing
the brother of the bullshit that he is going to run on us today.
Oh my God!
He got
that's the book of bullshit.
The book of bullshit.
The book of bullshit. And this starts at first one. He said some bullshit. So let's go get started.
What is bullshit about that? If you had a passport, you would have been right on the cruise with me, bro.
You didn't have to bring that up. You could have said anything. You know damn well I don't go no further than United. Nigga. I don't even go South America. And that's America.
Listen. My dog is a real live comic.
Well, I don't know what the Mexico is no more. What is Mexico anymore? The Gulf America or Gulf? What did he name it? He named it My Place. I don't know. He just renaming everything. He don't even care. Let's put this down as the second bullshit.
This had
something to do. And he called Trump and said, "Hey, I think you need to rename Mexico." And he renamed it.
All right. Well, one thing that has been renamed is what kind of Super Bowl we're looking at this year. And as we all know, it is actually officially being called Super Bowl Licks. And it's going to be between the Philadelphia Eagles and the Kansas City Chiefs. And like I was telling y'all before we started, man, I was like, I'm going through the internet, and it just feels like the internet does not want this matchup again. It just feels like they're over it. Like it's an old show. They don't want to see it no more. They need a new season. And I don't get it. I think this is exciting as hell. Now, would it have been better if the Bills made it and then lost again in the Super Bowl? Perhaps. But it just feels like these are two really good teams. These are the best teams in the NFL right now. What team is better than these two teams? Am I missing something? Lamar had his chance, dropped the ball. Jaden had his chance, dropped multiple balls. It sounds gay as hell the way it's being described. You know, shit it is what it is.
Everything sounds gay. That's why I don't care no more. I don't even care no more. Everything we say is gay. I don't care.
It's like, all right, enough. And it's like, all right, well, why would people be upset that the two best teams are in the Super Bowl? What the fuck? What do you want? What do you want? Don't you want to see a good game? What
I want to see a good game. I don't want to see them too.
Why not?
Because first of all, we know how Patrick Patrick Mahomes is an amazing young man. He's the only black kid that grew up totally white and don't know it. He's the only yo. Everybody used the M word wrong in his family. Everybody. No, nigga. That's Patrick right there. Who said that? That was Patrick. Patrick don't know he's black yet. He ain't figured it out till he get pulled over. When he get pulled over, he gonna be like, "But I'm Patrick at home." Yeah, that's a beautiful kiss. Look at him. Everything's gay. Everything is gay. Look. I hate AI. I hate this. Yo, you don't know what to do. It look real. It look real. Don't it look real, bro?
I ain't gonna lie. It caught me by. I was like, "Whoa!"
Yo, I was like, "Wait a minute."
Oh my god!
Yeah, all right. Well, but Ty, is there any validity to what he's saying? Like, is there? Oh, what's going on, Killer? My homie Killer in the chat. What's happening, Killer? Yes, man. Hey, blood. What's up?
What up?
It's crazy because I feel like the refs are giving Patrick a little bit of grace, but isn't that what just happens with elite quarterbacks, right? Isn't this the Tom Brady treatment we're talking about? We can talk about how. Let me take this. I didn't love it. People like, oh God, what the hell is they talking about?
Everybody just tuning in right now, going, the hell is going on with Vince?
Vince saw some new shit. All right.
Vince, he wild.
But my point is, like, Mahomes, if we don't know, there was a play, I believe it was versus which team was it versus? It was what's last week? Who they play last week?
Jake Snappers. Who cares?
Who are you asking? What are you asking?
I'm asking who the Chiefs played the week before last.
Prior to this?
Yes.
They played the Texans.
The Texans. Remember the play where Patrick Mahomes went down and the two defenders ended up hitting each other, and they still charged Patrick. They still gave Patrick Mahomes his first penalty, even after looking at it on the replay. And people was like, okay, so we see what's happening right now. The Chiefs is basically getting the Tom Brady treatment, and can't nobody stop them if they're going to be. And remember, after that, the Texans was like, yo, look, we knew that we was going to have to play against the refs. You know what I'm saying? Like, it just felt like it feels like they just ain't getting the respect that I feel like they deserve as a football team for winning all the games they won, have been doing it for 3 years in a row. I mean, it doesn't just happen overnight. These dudes have been kicking ass. And even though Mahomes hasn't been as steady this year, hasn't been winning by wide margins, the dude still beat some of the most elite quarterbacks and teams in the playoffs. So how can you take away from this dude? Now, I was a Patriots hater for the longest because of that streak. So I get that. But Patriots You know, that's a long time ago. This is a new era, and this is a half black quarterback.
No, don't say that. Don't say that. Don't say that.
All right, talk to me.
Because here's the deal, and I must speak on it. Stephen A. Smith, leave a kitchen alone. Let me say something to you. Real quick, we got to understand something. The NFL is built on how much money they can make. They need to make money. And Patrick Mahomes is making that money for them because they always have a front roller like LeBron James. He's the front guy of the NBA. So they have to have this. We saw it as real football analysts like we are, because I belong on ESPN. They know what they was doing. Every play they did it with Tom Brady. They did it with a whole lot of NFL leaders, and that's what they doing. They are setting him up to be that man, that franchise guy, and winning a third win. No one's ever done it,
right?
And you can tell they are pushing him to do it. Even Tom Brady said it slipped up the other day. He was talking. He said it looks like they're really pushing for Patrick Mahomes to win this. Who was he talking about? He wasn't talking about Kansas City. He was talking about the league. The league is pushing to have him win it, and that's what they're doing. Simple as fact, man. I put my money on it. We can air one of these. We can come back a week after, and I guarantee you, Patrick Mahomes wins it. Guarantee you. I guarantee he wins it. Even though Philadelphia got a better team because Kansas City won each one of their games by they were scoring. You know, I'm not. They were barely winning games. They were barely winning games. And if you look at it, most of the coaches are arguing with the referees. Now, how many games you don't see them coaches argue with the referee over some play that we know doggone well? Patrick Mahomes. They said Patrick Mahomes got hit in the head in the last Texas game. He got hit in the head. That man never touched him, but they gave him a 15-yard penalty and gave him a first down, which led him to a touchdown, what caused them to win the game. So if you say that referees ain't got a part of this game, that's crazy, because they do. They determine who wins. Patrick Mahomes will win it. I promise you he will win it. Guaranteed, because that's what they want. When they know doggone well, if Philadelphia get their running game correct, they're going to be calling a whole bunch of crazy plays like they played with Tom Brady when Tom Brady was losing in the third quarter at Atlanta. Y'all know I'm not lying. When he was playing Atlanta in the Super Bowl, them whole 98% black team. That was one of the first history. Atlanta had one of the 90. I think they had like 3 white boys, and one of them was the kicker. And Donald Trump showed up at the at halftime. They was losing 26-3. Your Patriots, 26-3.
Patriots? Who's Patriots?
Who was talking about? Saying you say the Patriots, you watch the Patriots. You said something about it.
I can't. Yeah,
you said something about Patriots, but I'm telling you that is a prime example. In a whole quarter, them boys scored. In the first of history, the referees called 11, count them, 11 penalties against Atlanta in a row.
I forgot to tell you that
beat them 28.
Solo was a raging conspiracy theorist.
I'm just saying it's not conspiracy, it's facts. If you watch the game as much as I couldn't tell you a conspiracy about baseball. Obviously, you know a lot more about baseball than I do, but I watch football every day, my whole entire life, played the sport and everything. I know when they cheating, and they've been cheating as long as I can remember.
Bad tie, please. Talk to me, man.
I mean, there's a lot of validity to what he's saying, but I think in the Texans game, for sure there was some questionable calls. Houston is a smaller market, right? And there was never if you look at their overall record and their play throughout the season, it was very surprising that they made it to the playoffs in the first place. It was basically because their division really was really bad, if we're being honest. But yeah, there were some questionable calls that caused KC to get in. There's going to be questionable calls, like he was just talking about, this is not just isolated to football. This happens across all sports.
All sports.
When you think about Michael Jordan and what he meant to the NBA during his playoff runs and his quest for championships. The referees, you couldn't touch Mike, couldn't touch him. Touch Mike, that was a foul. It didn't matter if you grazed him or whatever. I was a Knicks fan at that time, and I watched many games where I was like, nobody touched him, but he got to the free throw line. This is indicative of being the vanguard of your sport. Mm-hmm. He was the person that was the face of basketball during that time. Michael Jordan was everything. Everybody was rocking his shoes, everything like that. I say this to say that what Solo was saying is true. There is a driving mechanism that wants to market certain players, and they want to make sure that they showcase those players. This in particular, when it comes to football, I blame solely not on Mahomes this year. I blame it on the one and only Taylor Swift. Because
really,
it's the truth. It's the truth. Because once Taylor Swift started showing up, started showing once she started showing up,
diabolical. You is diabolical, boy. You is diabolical, boy. And I blame her too. That's why I'm laughing. I'm like, yo, I didn't even think of her. She had a big part to do with it. She had a big part to do with it.
Let him finish.
Preach on, my brother.
Yeah. So once Taylor Swift started pulling up to the games,
pull a picture of her.
The viewership for the NFL went up. Viewership, and it went up for women. And more women started watching the games because they're Taylor Swifties. That's what they call it. And that's what they call it, her fans, Swifties. So now instead of coming up to watch the Kansas City game as a viewer, I'm seeing every 5 minutes the camera panning over to Taylor Swift to see what she's doing in the box. So once the NFL realized that they could market this and there was some way to gain new viewership, they continued to do that. I don't think it was
set up by them.
I don't want to sit here and act as though it is all on the referees and it's all on the NFL. Andy Reid is an incredible coach. He is a Hall of Fame coach.
Absolutely.
He has been doing this thing for years and years and years.
No doubt. I agree with that.
I believe this will be his 7th Super Bowl, his 14th championship. He's been doing things like this for a while. So when you have a coach and again a premier player like Patrick Mahomes is one of the greatest quarterbacks and will go down as one of the greatest quarterbacks in the history of football. He makes the NFL look like he's playing backyard football.
Yes.
And that is the difference between what he does and what all the other quarterbacks in the league do. Now, Lamar is exceptional. Lamar is what we saw Michael Vick do, and he just does it better. But what we see Patrick Mahomes do, no other quarterback was doing. You're throwing no-look passes. You're doing stuff that you're faking. He uses that pump fake so well. And you would think the defensive players would already know what's up. But that dude does that pump fake like he's pump faking with a basketball.
Well, I mean, isn't that the problem though? Because the pump fake has got the defense so convinced that he's not going to slide or not going to stop, that him and his style of play is one of the reasons why there were late hits this year. Because when quarterbacks fake or go to slide, because of Mahomes' juke ability, they don't believe him. You know what I'm saying? What was the one quarterback that went down this year who got hit they had to suspend old boy for 3 games?
Trevor Lawrence.
Yeah, Trevor Lawrence. Like, yo, this dude was like sliding and they went dead into his helmet. You know what I mean? But they were like, well, we don't know if he's going to, slide. He might do the Patrick Mahomes. So you're right. I agree with you 100%. And I mean, it's also should be said that Andy Reid did do this with the team that he's facing again. It was the Philadelphia Eagles, if I'm not mistaken. I mean, he was with them during the McNabb days. Am I wrong?
No, he was there. So, he was there.
Look, me and Solo will always have our differences on the fact that the Illuminati has already created this this Super Bowl matchup.
I don't think it's exactly the Illuminati. I just think that it's the way the organization is ran because I've been following the game for so many years. I seen them pick a guy and that be their guy. That and it makes sense. I'm gonna make the money off it. And to piggyback on old boy's point, he was right. She had a big part of this whole movement. I think we first because remember he left the black girl and started Kelsey. He left the black girl and started dating her. And before the last season, what it was this season or last season? Because I forgot when she first came in the picture. But when she came in the picture, it was like he said, every 5 minutes even when before he scored.
But dog, showing somebody on a screen doesn't rig the game. You know what I'm saying?
No,
all it does is generate
followers, Vince. The followers, her followers became football fans.
But
and
it
they
doesn't
don't
make
even
them
like
win the
football.
game. They don't win the game because Taylor Swift is in a suite, bro. That doesn't work like that. I mean,
it worked that way. Trust me, all of it is a mental game, bro. It's a mental game. First of all, let's be clear here. Like he said, it's more than just one or two incidents where the referees say, oh, we're going to let them slide on this one right here. Oh, we're going to do this. We're going to do that. They did that whole year, bro. The whole time. And I guarantee you, in this NFL Super Bowl game, some questionable stuff is going to pop up because one, Philadelphia, and I'm not a fan of Philadelphia. Don't y'all start thinking I'm going to sit out there and go on and on. I might. Because I hate Kansas City. But, you know what I'm saying? I despise these ugly motherfuckers. But the point of it is because I know what's going on. When you know what's going on and you know how the system works, you can see it. And you follow the game long enough, you can see it. And that's all I'm saying with this game right here. This particular season, I think it's all for Kansas City to win the three-peat, and I think the NFL gonna have their piece in this, and y'all gonna see it. I do not believe Kansas City have a great enough team to walk into the Super Bowl and just dominate the Philadelphia Eagles. They have a great defensive line. They got healthy people coming back, and their quarterback should be good enough to pull it off. I just believe that. Plus, they got a great running back. And what is the Achilles heel for Kansas City is a team with a great running back because they can't stop the run for nothing.
And that's what he's 100%. He's 100% correct on that. Now
you gonna see
the reason that Buffalo lost that game is not just because of calls. It's because their offensive coordinator, who really technically is their coach, Sean McDermott. He got away from what was working in the first half. James Cook was unstoppable in that first half. There was nothing the Chiefs could do against him. Whenever he got the ball, he was running for 7 yards a carry. He would run through tackles. He was going to the outside. They could not stop him. What do they do in the second half?
They stopped running. They didn't start running again until in the middle of the fourth quarter. And I thought that was because even the commentator said, "Oh, you want to run now? You want to run now? Come on, man. That's why I say they're gonna have to cheat in the Super Bowl because they're gonna have a healthy Eagles team in front of them who likes to run, And to your point, I believe they're gonna have a problem. I just believe they're gonna have a problem. They're gonna have to cheat.
Did they cheat when Josh Allen did not expect the corner blitz on the last play at 4th down in this last game where they had an opportunity? They were only down by 3 points and could have possibly ended up getting the first down if the catch wasn't dropped. Did the refs, did Taylor Swift, did anybody other than the players on the field fail Buffalo in that particular moment? No. So it's not rigged. The Buffalo team just got beat. Josh Allen didn't come to the press conference saying, God damn it, Taylor Swift. Josh Allen was like, we had.
Hold up, let me stop.
Josh Allen said,
no.
If I may, with your interrupting ass, Josh Allen said, to be the champs, you have to beat the champs, and we didn't do that. He did not say it's us against Taylor Swift and the government and the Illuminati and everybody else and the refs. He said, we didn't beat the champs, and that's what has to be done. It's nobody's fault other than the Buffalo Bills why they're not in the position that we're in.
I never said the Buffalo Bills was going to win that game. I thought the Buffalo Bills would be a great game, and it was a great game. But I also saw a lot of stuff that they pulled in that game that they shouldn't have pulled in that game. Now, to your point, no, I thought Taylor Swift could have came out there and played quarterback because she was through the game. It was more of her. Like to his point, he's a football follower. He follows football. And let me ask you a question, bro. I keep messing your name up. What's your name again?
Ty.
Bad time.
Bad
time, bro.
Like
okay, Matt. Ty. Hey, Ty, check this out, Ty. Listen to this. To your point, let me ask you a question. My question to you is, you watched the game between the Texas and Kansas City, right?
Mm-hmm.
You saw all the issues that was called in that game, right? And when it led to the next game with the Bills, they tried to cover. You saw how they try to keep that wasn't an issue, but it was because when homeboy hit Mahomes in the head, and he was about this close to his head, and they called that penalty, and it was 15 yards to the goal line. That determines how the game is going to end out because you only had 7 to 8 minutes left in the game. So if Kansas City scores right there, it's a 2-score thing. So they would still have to get the ball back and score again, and they knew that. If Kansas City would have kicked the ball, it would have been the Bills would have been in there, but they didn't. They went for the score because they got a penalty. So I don't care about that penalty caused the game. Whether everyone going to sit, it's just like LeBron said when they didn't call that thing on him last year when they threw the ball up. He said for you won't come to me later and say, yeah, I should have called that. You should have called that the first doggone time. The referees have the opportunity to call. It's 4 of them. How many of them on the field? It's like 4 of them. And then 2 of them disagreed when they ran over there, but they gave it to him anyway. I think it has a lot to do with the NFL trying to control the game like they always have. And if you disagree with that, you're delusional because you can't name one game, one Super Bowl that they didn't set up. And I wish Cam Newton was on this thing because he showed what said. They did it with him at the Super Bowl, and they're going to do it with this one. And I guarantee you Kansas City wins convincingly. I guarantee you. And if they don't win, I'll come on this show and I'll wear a Kansas City shirt.
Okay, we will book that. We will clip that. We will bring it back. What's up, Bad Ty?
I was just going to say this. One thing that has changed in the NFL this season, that's new, they have something that they call replay assist. Right. And so replay assist has for a very, very long time, the NFL never wanted to use instant replay. Yeah. Not instant replay to for a call. Last year it was within the last 2 minutes of a quarter, then they would go to the booth and then they would look at the play and review it and determine whether or not it was whatever it is. But this year, replay assist a lot of times can overrule a call from a referee because it's a AI generated system. So as soon as it sees the play, it determines what happened on the play and then sends in its call. So if the referee makes a call that the replay assist does not agree with, they overturn the call, no questions asked. This is where I say Solo may have a point because the calls in regards to the Texans game, there were some very questionable calls that if you would have allowed replay assist to handle it, then it should have gone the right way. It should have been corrected. But in those moments, they didn't, for some reason, use replay assist, and that's where you start to wonder: is there a hidden agenda? Is there some reason why y'all aren't using the new system that you were blessed with in order to make sure these type of things don't happen? There is, like I said, in all sports, there is movement in the direction of who is marketable for our league. The face of the NBA is still LeBron James. It is guys like Steph, but Nikola Jokic, from Denver, Wembanyama. It's still the face. He's still the face of the NBA. But what I'm saying is, when I name those players, those type of players are the type of players that are going to get that call that you don't necessarily give to everyone. They're going to get that. They're going to get that. Like if it's like on the cusp, I'm gonna lean more towards that player getting whatever it is. That is the privilege that is earned. That is not something that you just get just because you walk into the league and no. So although people hate Mahomes because he's whatever he is, Mahomes earned the right to do the things that he does on the field. He earned the right to get some of those calls. The Chiefs have been extremely successful and have taken over the reins since the Patriots let it all go, because the Patriots was holding on to the reins in the NFL for a very, very long time. Once Tom left there, he went to Tampa Bay, got him a chip. He retired. He retired, and then he passed the reins. Before he left, he passed the reins to Patrick Mahomes. He was like, he's gonna be the next big thing. So it's not surprising when you have a combination of a Patrick Mahomes and an Andy Reid led offense continuing to be in this position each year. Let's not forget that Kansas City lost one game this year. They lost one game, and that was two. Well,
they lost the very last. That didn't really count.
That didn't count.
There was no starters. There was no starters. There was a bye week.
They were. So I don't count that. They lost one game, and that was to the Buffalo Bills, and it close game as well. So, So my whole thing is this: I expect the Super Bowl to be a great game. There's not going to be what
I agree.
There may be some questionable calls, but this is not going to be determined on a questionable call. Saquon Barkley is on a mission. I don't know if you watch the games.
Oh yes, yeah, he's on a mission. He's on a mission.
I don't know if you watch the games and you watch what Philadelphia is doing right now, but Saquon is arguably, not even arguably at this point, he is the best running back in the league, hands down.
That's saying a lot.
That's saying a lot, because there's some really good running backs in the league right now. But right now, Saquon is on a whole nother level. What he's doing in the playoffs and what he's able to do in the playoffs to every team. Like, we got to talk about the Rams. The Rams defense came into that game playing out of their minds, like leading up to getting that game with the Eagles. The Rams defense was a top 5 defense, if not top 3, but they were that good. They were just that good. So for him to be able to run on them the way he was able to run on them, to come into the yesterday's game against a very hot Commanders team. Now the Commanders defense was never, a top-ranked defense or anything like that. So
that's what I didn't. That's what I didn't take into account.
Though they were good. They wasn't top-ranked, but they were good.
They lost the first half.
That defense, Solo. That defense wasn't good. That defense was.
Well, I'm looking at the stats from the last game, so I'm looking at it right now.
Let's go with stats.
Okay, let's go with stats. Okay, first of all, the last game played by the Eagles versus the Commanders, man, they threw for 255 yards, right? 255 yards. Homeboy did his game. He did his thing compared to the rest of them. But you got to understand, the nigga rushed for 100 and something yards in that game. He rushed for 100 something yards in that game. So to your point, I'm with you 100. Everything you say right there, I agree with, because I know for a fact this is a game you got to watch very carefully. Right now, the odds, Vegas odds are 47-53. Kansas City. 47-53. I mean, 47.
You're cooking.
By the day of that, it's going to switch to the Eagles. I'm telling you, it's going to switch to the Eagles because they can make more money betting against Kansas City.
Oh, my God.
I'm telling you, watch. It's going to go towards, watch what I tell you.
But if we listen to you, bro, there's no talent. Like, if we listen to you, Patrick Mahomes isn't really a good quarterback. He just happens to be on the same team with Kelso, and Taylor Swift's his girlfriend. So that's the only reason they're winning. If we listen to you,
I'm not saying that. I ain't gonna say. Hold up, shut your mouth. I ain't saying that. I ain't saying that. Mahomes is not a good quarterback. He's one of the best quarterbacks. No doubt. I'm not taking no credit from him. He has a combination with Kelsey, that's great. How many people get a tight end who can pull off that size? The last person had that with Tom Brady with Gronk. Because the size, you look at it, he's 6'4", running across the middle of the field, and against some guys who probably not even 6 feet. Think about it. Look who defends him. Most of the defenders are short. They in the 6'2" at the highest. So I'm just being honest. Football analyst, you want me to tell it? I'm just telling the truth. When they shut down Kelsey in this Super Bowl, that's when you're gonna know that they're gonna win. If Philly shuts down Kelsey, the game is over.
First of
he
all,
ain't got nobody else. It's only him and Kelsey. If you look at the last few games, he threw it to Kelsey. When he was in trouble, he threw it to Kelsey. When they shut Kelsey down, they don't have an answer for that. And then it's not an offensive game no more. It's a defensive game. But then you bring in the slow the pace down with Philly comes in with their running back and slow the pace down. I promise you, man, it's gonna be a different game. You gotta watch it. We gotta review this game.
I do. I think he's on to something. I think Solo. I think what's going to happen is because right now, what the Kansas City team that you see now is not the Kansas City team that you saw at the beginning of the season. They have added the speed combination of Hollywood Brown and Xavier Worthy on both sides, along with Travis Kelce. But they also this last game. What you saw was Kareem Hunt, a lot of Kareem Hunt. Kareem Hunt is the X factor for that Chiefs team. If he's able to run the football the way he was able to run the football against the Bills, against the Eagles, the Chiefs have a chance. If they are not able to run the football against the Eagles, they do not have a chance. I'm telling you that right now.
That defense is tight.
That defense is tight, but they are able to be ran on. That is if there is an Achilles, if there is an Achilles heel with the Eagles, it is the fact that they are able to be ran on. They're passing. I think they're ranked first or second in pass defense. So I know the overall.
I'm looking it up, man. I'm looking it up because I'm trying to see what they say, and he's right. He's right, though.
Yeah, overall defense, they were ranked number 1 this year. So it's going to be whether or not the Eagles defense can stop Mahomes, because I think that when it comes down to defense on the other side of the ball, the Chiefs are not going to be able to stop Saquon Barkley. But the question is, does Sirianni stay within the game plan? If he stays within the game plan and does what they've done to get to the Super Bowl, I'm telling you right now, the Eagles will win the Super Bowl if they stick to the game plan. If they get caught up in the we need to play the quarterback game because Mahomes is looking so good over here or whatever the case may be, and we got to go back and forth. That'll be till they're down.
Injury report. Let me just let it know. First of all, Kansas City got 3 people that may not be in the game because they hurt. They may be back. It's a big maybe, possibility. Mm-hmm. Eagles got everybody back. The only person they worrying about is their quarterback. Their quarterback is the only one questionable. It's questionable means he may play. He gonna play because it's a Super Bowl. All I'm saying is, you look at injury report, all that coming to the factor. I believe that watching these other games and being that you said something important too, man, you good at what you be talking about. You said something about Andy Reid being the best. That's their Achilles heel. Andy Reid is the reason the Eagles probably will lose because Andy Reid is one of the best. Yeah, he does the offense. He tells them what to play. I don't even know why they there. I don't even know why they there because Andy Reid calls everything. Defense, offense, he calls it all. He's one of the greatest. He's one of the best. So, yeah, I agree with you. With Andy Reid on their side, that's a plus, and that could cause a problem because Andy Reid, he reads offenses quick, and now they call him in faster because it used to be 2 years ago. Before then, only one could have earphone thing in their helmet was the quarterback. Now, the defensive end has one too, and that means they can call it in right then, right then. So all I'm saying is once they read that offensive line and see what's going on, and to your point, if they could get to Patrick Mahomes and they got 2 corners, Philly got 2 corners that's off the lit, right? Just came back and destroyed that game. I'm saying they're going to get the Patrick Mahomes or they're going to get the KC. That's all they got. That boy don't throw to nobody else. He don't throw to nobody else. See, that's why I'm saying their roadmap to success is based on if they're going to do the same things they've been doing for 14 games, 15, 16 games so far, and only lost 1 against the Bills, and Bills showed them the Achilles heel is running. That's how they beat them last time. And to your point, and I'm going to leave it at that, you said that when they was running, they was winning. And then when they got in the 3rd and 4th quarter, they stopped doing it. You think the Eagles are going to stop? Hell no.
I mean, they do. The thing about the Eagles is, and Sirianni likes to have a balanced offense. So the same way that they did the game script against the Commanders could be the same type of game script that they do because they could have run Saquon all game, but they didn't. They chose not to. What they did was they started throwing the ball to A.J. Brown. They started throwing the ball to Devonta Smith. Started throwing the ball to Dallas Goedert, just to kind of keep the defense off balance. So they're going to have to do that because I believe that Andy is going to make a concerted effort to try to stop Saquon. He's going to make Jalen Hurts. This is what the Chiefs do. That whatever you're the best at, they take that away. I got to correct you on one thing. You did say that Andy runs offense and defense. He does not run defense. That is Steve Spagnuolo's job.
He has his very good offensive coordinators, but you notice what they said the other day on ESPN that when he was in the game, he called the defensive play. You show him, you see him pull the defensive coordinator to the corner and said, "Don't play that. Go with a cover 3." He went with a cover 3 and he got him. That's Andy. He sees. He has everybody. I'm just telling you, he has everybody there, those coaches to do their job.
Well, he's the head coach, so ultimately
he's more like Belichick. If they see something and they disagree with it, he went over there all the way across the field, grabbed his coordinator and said, "Run a cover 3." Well, they ran a cover 3 and they did it. All I'm saying is, agree with you is Andy Reid is just as important as Mahomes because they doing. Andy Reid is a genius. Bro. Is a genius. He know what he's doing. He can get the job done. But I believe for the first half, it's gonna be number Philly. And Kansas City gonna try to come back and win.
You know what? Another factor that we haven't really discussed is the fact that, like you just said, Jalen has been playing under duress with regard to his health. He's been questionable. Yep. He's already had to miss games because of the concussion. And then in the not this most recent game, but the game prior to that, he bent his knee back and had to limp out of the game into the tunnel. and it was questionable for me whether or not he was actually going to be able to generate any rushing yards, even as a quarterback. And they still did run design plays for him in this game just to show, like, look, bro still got it. You know what I'm saying? Don't get it twisted. So for me, that's kind of the determining factor, because if I look at this matchup just based on the main positions in the offense, quarterback, running back, right, wide receiver, then technically, in my opinion, the Eagles, if Jalen plays the way he did against the Commanders, which I don't think he will because the Commanders just didn't have the defense that the Chiefs have, has a chance. You know what I'm saying? Because they have the secret ingredient in their offense that the Chiefs don't, and that is one angry, history-making Saquon Barkley. And this dude, when he gets the ball, he's jumping over people. He's running full speed, using the full boost from the X button on Madden. He's spinning around. Like, you can't stop Saquon. It's already been determined in advance. And the Chiefs, they got a running game, but do they have a Saquon? And let's also keep in mind, I don't think you get the same Saquon next year that you get this year. Like, this is a rare moment, Super Saiyan Saquon, that is fresh off of being resentful at the Giants for being like, oh, y'all ain't going to use me as talent? Okay, send me down the street then. You know what I'm saying? I still got some talent in me. So I do believe that some of this, a big part of me also believes that he did want to get, me and Ty talked about this, he did want to get that Eric Dickerson that record. He did want to cross that 2,100, and they didn't do it, and evidently it worked out because they did end up beating the Commanders. But I think that Saquon is a force of his own, and I think that he is the reason why the Eagles end up winning. So let's just do this real quick so we can move on to a couple other topics. Let's go ahead and give our predictions for the Super Bowl licks, which is a little vulgar. I might Super Bowl licks. I don't know if I like that.
I don't even care no more. You can lick, do whatever you want to do. Put Mahomes kissing the referee back up. I don't care no more. I can't say pause on everything.
So you think?
I told my wife, let me put my hand on your butt. She said pause. I said, bitch.
Oh,
So you say the Chiefs get it based on, you know, the Illuminati and the NFL.
I don't think Illuminati has anything to do with it. I just think that's the way the NFL operates. But who I want to win? Look at that. Look at this. This is nasty. The nigga that the person that made this is sick. He's sitting in his house going, I'm gonna make something nasty. Two grown ass men kiss.
All right. So you got the Chiefs. Who you got, Ty? Ty, you an Eagles fan.
I don't got the Chiefs. I'm saying I know they're gonna win. But I want Philly to win.
Well,
I want Philly to win.
The question is, who do you think is going to win?
Kansas City. I think Kansas City, because I think they're gonna make sure he get it. Because it's never in history has this ever happened. Dallas Cowboys came close. Patriots came close a couple times. Nobody actually has done it. So I believe they just want to just curve history and let them win.
I'm gonna say this to that point, Solo. I'm gonna tell you this, man. There was a point at one point when the New England Patriots had a chance to make history again.
They did.
And go undefeated through a whole season. But a team called the New York Giants came into the Super Bowl and had another thing on their mind. And I'm sure the record book holders and all of them wanted the Patriots to win.
And I watched that game too. Yeah. And he threw a Hail Mary, which he caught. And when they came back, they fumbled the ball. You can't get past that right there. So, of course, but I think they wanted the Patriots to win because they set it up the whole game, the whole thing. It looked like the Patriots going to win that game. Come on, you can't say that the Patriots wasn't coming back to win that game. And then they did a fumble, which they could. A fumble came from a high fumble. If a high fumble come up, man, y'all don't watch the games like I do. I watch every game. I ain't got no life. I watch every game, bro. Every game. And I agree with him, but I'm saying in that game, you'll notice that they really was rooting for Tom Brady to win that game, and a few mistakes was made, and you can't get past the mistakes. It's as simple as that. You can't lie if it's right in your face. You know what I'm saying?
I mean, they can. They did in the Texas game. But
yeah, it's like all in the Texas game. That's why I said he need to go watch the Texas game, and then he will see how bad they cheated for that.
It was one play.
Child.
It was one play, man. It was one play, bro.
You know,
but it was a very important. It was a very important play. It was more than one play. Okay.
Right. You remember the important play. I remember the whole damn cheating game.
You might be right.
So I got the Eagles. I'm even gonna give you a score. I'm gonna call it 31-28 Eagles.
31-28.
I would love that. Yo, I'll call you on that day, boy. I'll be like, you called it. I'll be like, and go on and on. Because I don't like Kansas City because they full of hot doo-doo, and that girl ain't fine at all. She ain't got no booty whatsoever.
Why she catching strays? Taylor's not on the field. Taylor's not on the field, bro. Like, why?
She was on the field. That's a lie. She was on the field. She was on the field.
My goodness.
They won their little thing. She was on the field. She was on the field.
Let me do this real quick. I got a special guest laying in wait that I don't want to keep too long.
Let's get to my sport.
Well, before we get to your sport, I have a special person that I'd like to speak to. But before we jump off of the NFL, I thought there were at least a couple things worth mentioning that we haven't talked about yet. And these are mentions, not topics. So don't go too deep into this stuff. Solo, I'm speaking specifically to you, homeboy. So we now know that since the Cowboys have been searching for a head coach since they let Mike McCarthy go, that they're in the process of making Brian Schottenheimer their new head coach, as opposed to Deion Sanders, which I think is a sign that Jerry Jones wants to continue puppeteering all of his coaches and doesn't want anybody who's going to give him any adversity, any pushback, any lip, and will simply function as somebody with a finger or a hand up their back and will motion however it is that. Now, I know Schottenheimer, I know, Detroit, I know Marty, I know they got a long history with this family, but I just feel like he wasn't really on anybody's radar. Unlike we can say for Ty's team, who did now just recently get a new head coach. And I'm curious real quick, Ty, before we move on, about your feelings on Aaron Glenn as the Jets' new head coach.
I'm a 100% love Aaron Glenn. He was a Jet, I think for 8 seasons. So and a very good player when he played. I don't know that I wanted him as the head coach for the Jets, simply because I really would have liked the Jets to go in the direction of having an offensive-minded coach, because our offense just looks horrific. Like it is so bad. The defense, we have the key players to make that for the defense to be formidable and good. I think we were still in the top 10 despite all of the losses we had this year. But I'm here for it, man. I hope him the best. I wish him good luck. I hope he can do a good job, but I really wish that the Jets would have moved in the direction of an offensive-minded coach. But we'll see how it works out.
Question before we move on: what would you have liked to have seen done? I mean, they interviewed a whole host. They did interview Ben Johnson. You sounded like you didn't like the Rex Ryan revisit. What would you have liked?
Another defensive coach.
So what would you have liked to have seen? What direction you want to see your Jets go in, man?
I would have honestly looked. I know that the Bears got Johnson from the Detroit Lions, but I would have liked to have gotten the offensive coordinator from the Bengals. If I'm being honest,
Joe Burrow's coordinator.
Yeah, I would have absolutely loved to have him. Like, especially with the weapons that we have. They and I love the way they run their offense. Yeah, I would have much rather have gone that route. But again, kudos to Aaron Glenn. I wish him the best of luck. He's a Jet for life. So let's hope for the best, man.
All right, well, that's cool. What's up, Solo? You got something on your arm?
Yeah, I wanted to comment on the Cowboy thing. Okay, in the Jets. First, to go back to the Cowboys. That's bull. Jerry know doggone well that he is just controlling everything, and he just gonna have a horrible year. That's just what it is. How you gonna pick a dude that was sitting right there on the table all this time, and you losing games, and then you gonna say, "Well, he the best coach for us"? You a lie. Let's move on. All right, you a lie. This nigga been sitting there for the longest, watching y'all lose and everything, and then you gonna pick him up because you just want to keep your stuff. Jerry Jones need to go ahead on pass away now. Yeah. We need him to go ahead on and see rich white man heaven. All right, so yeah. Even his kids, y'all listen. Have y'all ever talked to his kids? His kids are grown and they're older than me. And every time the camera get in their face, they go, "No comment," and keep on moving. That's a person that they want their granddaddy. They want that man to die. So listen. All right, now move on to the Jets. You said the Jets coach, right? I personally, on a personal level, I'm happy that they got him as a coach, because Jets need somebody who know that organization, and he knows that organization. Secondly, he said something in his thing about Rodgers, and I think he gonna get rid of Rodgers. Got to go. So he got to go. So I think he's in the right direction. Then you said because he's offensive. First of all, defense win more championships than offense. So if he's gonna be he get a decent defense, they at least make it to the playoff, and that will be great. So I'm a 100% for this hire because he's a black man, and it's not a lot of black coaches out there. So when they hire a black coach, I jump 50 feet in the air and go, "Thank you, Jesus." Because you remember there ain't no coaches out there, because he didn't get an interview with the Cowboys. He didn't get an interview with the Cowboys, and he one of the best at it. So I'm happy for that. And my last statement I'm gonna make.
Let me give him a solo. Let me give him an ISO shot. Come on.
I have talked this whole game about every team in the NFL except the team that I need to talk about, and that is the Duval, Jacksonville, dumbass Jaguars. They are the worst NFL team in history. They are the dumbest team ever made in history. They so stupid. They go out and get everything else but what they need. Horrible. And Jacksonville need to move their team to Iraq so they can get some real players.
Oh my God!
And Iraq. Iraq's where the real play. That's where the real play. Oh man. Man.
Y'all talk about everybody but the Jacksonville job. Y'all talked about what's going on in Super Bowl right now, but what about the teams that didn't make it to nothing? Nothing.
Yeah, well, I mean, it would be an interesting conversation. Maybe we could have a convo a little bit later on. Maybe next week we could talk about who's going through more, the Cowboys, the Jets, or the Jaguars. That is an interesting conversation. But
go ahead. Can I just interject real quick? Please. Solo, you made a good point about Brian Schottenheimer. I have familiarity with Brian Schottenheimer. Brian Schottenheimer was the offensive coordinator for the Jets a few years ago. He is terrible, and I mean terrible. He was terrible as an offensive coordinator, so I know I agree with you.
He is terrible. I wouldn't say terrible, but that's a strong word.
No. Terrible is what he was, man. I'm telling you, he was an offensive coordinator for my team, so I knew.
But that's the point. He's not a good offensive. I agree with you. He's not a good offensive, but as a head coach, he hired somebody to be an offensive coordinator. But he's great at defense. You can't deny that. Can't deny the brother ain't good at defense.
He's not how's he good at defense?
Because you got to think about this. If the hires that he gonna hire for his defensive line, they think about it. He got what's your boy that played for the Patriots? That's one of his boys. He was a defensive coordinator. I just think it's a great hire because look at all the coaches that's out there that's looking for a job. Jacksonville coach, he sucks. He can't get that job. It had to be somebody that they didn't think came from left field. And I think I believe he's going to do better this year as a coach, and I think he's going to surprise a lot of people.
Liam?
No.
I think the Jets are. Listen, I'm not a super Jet fan, but I've been living in New York and I've seen how they operate. I think the Jets are going to be a better team. I think they got some money to play with because their cap is real low right now. So basically, once they get rid of Rodgers, they got the money to play with. They can go out there and get what they need.
You think? So then you got to get another quarterback though. Solo.
Yeah.
You don't just get rid of Rodgers and replace him.
Listen, man. Check this out. Check this out. He just listen. Y'all don't understand. If Deion don't get in the NFL with his son is going somewhere.
This is true. Ty, that's true, right?
That is 100% true. Shedeur Sanders is one of the top quarterback recruits coming out of college this year, along with Cam Ward from Miami. And some other.
Let me throw something else. Imagine Deion Sanders as the offensive coordinator, head coach.
Nah, he can't take a step down from head coach.
Listen. He ain't gonna be coach. I don't care what nobody say. Ain't no other teams calling him. Who calling him?
Nobody right now, but he's not expressing interest. The only team that expressed interest was Dallas. And the only reason they expressed interest is because he's a former Cowboy. So he said he wants to coach him.
That's why I said who calling him.
But that's what I'm saying. Nobody's calling because there's no interest because he coaches Colorado right now. And he's doing a good job raising those young men, making them into players, being more active, even off the field. He has a career and he has a lot of slack. He doesn't have the weight of having to do better than the last.
I ain't disagreeing with you. But I'm talking about his number one pick son. He wants to go with his son.
Well, look, I think, first of all, that's something that we didn't talk about that I should have. The fact that he defended his pops this week when they was trying to make it seem like he was trying to hover over him and be a helicopter dad. And he was like, nah, my dad doing what he's supposed to do, which is a good segue, which is a phenomenal segue, if I may, if we can flip off of football for one quick second, because I would like to talk briefly before we go too much more, because there's still more basketball to talk.
Love the hotel room you in. I love that hotel room you're in. That is so nice. Where's that? The Hilton? That's like the Hilton. Man, he's in a prison.
Hold on. I'm actually going to move. I'm going to move, and I'm going to go to my penthouse for this interview.
Yeah, so you was living that life, boy.
I'm going to head to my penthouse real quick. I'm going to be right back. I got to go to the penthouse because the next guest is a very special guest, and I want to make sure I got the right backdrop. So I'll be right back. I'm going to go
Yeah, bro, that was some good points, man. You had me writing stuff down. Cause I was sitting here and I'm like, yeah, God, this boy know his sports. Let me go back check and make sure I got my facts right. Yeah, because I had to write some stuff down. I was sitting here going, wait a minute. This is like my Stephen A. Smith thing. I had to write it down. This is a good segment, man. Very good.
Yeah, cool. Yeah, now I'm in the penthouse, and this is where I look out. Yeah, I had to go. Hey, listen, you shut up and you take a moment and you just kind of chill on the sideline for a little bit, because I want to celebrate the fact that today is a phenomenal day for a very special team. Not even a day, but the year itself is phenomenal because, ladies and gentlemen, this is 2025. Do you know what happened about 40 years ago today? And in that era, the one and only St. Louis Cardinals were the hottest team almost in the entire MLB. I'm talking, who's better than Ozzie Smith, Willie McGee, Vince Coleman, Andy Van Slyke, Jose Oquendo. I mean, come on, Terry Pendleton. Do I got to go on? And here's what's so special about it, ladies and gentlemen. I was there to witness this firsthand because I am from the great city of St. Louis, Missouri, because my father is from the great city of St. Louis, Missouri. This man showed me what baseball was by taking me to Busch Stadium. We were in Busch Stadium rooting for Willie McGee right there. I remember my pops even would gather people around us and say, all right, y'all, we going to chant for Willie when he come up to base, when he come up to bat. When he come up, Willie. I will never forget that. And when you're at Busch Stadium, if the Cardinals score a run, they don't just score and cheer. No, there's fireworks. Boom! That you will not be able to escape, that will still be with you when you get back home. There's, boom, big fireworks over by the Gateway Arch that you can see from Busch Stadium. And because of these experiences on that diamond right there in downtown St. Louis, Missouri, I have been a lifelong Cardinals fan. And it's all your fault. It's all your fault. This man right here, this is my father, ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Vince Taylor Sr., Minister Taylor. It is a pleasure to see you in the flesh. What's going on, Pop?
How you doing, son? It is so good to see you. I have just been sitting here enjoying your conversation with these prognosticators. I see Stephen A. Smith has nothing on y'all. He really doesn't. Solo is cracking me up. He says the Duval Jaguars, and I want to add something. They're probably the best AAU team in the NFL. They are just fantastic.
Let's get them on. Let's get them on. Hey,
there's not a better AAU team in the NFL.
Yo, man, I love your daddy. He speaks the truth. He know damn well they need to. Hey, none of them need their check. I wouldn't pay them none. I wouldn't pay none of them. Hey, I'll be the rudest boss. I'll be sitting there. You think you need that check? You think you earned that? No, you ain't earned that. Get your butt out of there. All of them. The coaches, even the cheerleaders need to stop. I saw a cheerleader the other day. She stopped jumping and sat down while the rest of the girls was running and jumping. I was like, wait, you do that? She was tired. Her ankle hurt. I'm trying to tell you, he's right. It makes it look like I can go out there and play. Just watching them made me feel like, wait a minute, I need to join the
Let's get back to reality here. Let's not lose reality, because they hit you one time, Solo. You'll move from your present place of living. You'll be down in Mexico somewhere.
No, sir. It's new rules now. You got to follow the new rules, because then you know how they set the field up where when the kicker kick the ball, everybody close up, right? When you kick the ball, the kicker, I kick and run the opposite way. They think they're gonna tell? I'm on the Jaguars. That's what they do.
So you would be like O.J. Anderson. You know, most teams want their runners to run north and south. O.J. Anderson ran east and west.
Oh my God.
Well, look, he know. See, your pops know, man. Your pops know the real deal. He's not hiding it. He telling the truth. Jaguar fans don't get mad at us. We just telling the truth. Your team. It's not a real NFL team.
You're from Jacksonville. Why are you acting like you?
Yeah.
You're from Jacksonville.
Listen, the last time Jacksonville did anything to anything, he had Tom Coughlin was the coach. You remember that, Pop? Tom Coughlin was the coach, and remember they went all the way. They went all the way to the
NFC Championship.
Yeah, and they lost. And my whole point was, and they lost to Tennessee.
Was that
and
with
my
Gerard?
Point is this. Jacksonville, the farthest we went is when we played Tennessee, and the thing, and Tennessee did the flipper and won the game. They flipped the ball back, kept flipping the ball back, and actually got it. And they in the history books of running that mug all the way back. Now that's some embarrassing stuff. How in the world they flipped that ball back all the way back to the kicker? The kicker got the ball and ran it in. Jacksonville sucks, man.
Time out, Solo. Bear with me just a second, bro. I want to have a quick moment with my dog. It's okay, because ain't no room. There's Solo and everybody else. Well, listen, man. I wanted to have you on because you were there. You were the reason why I wear this hoodie, why I am a diehard Card, why I will never root for any other team in the MLB. And I'm just curious because we never really talked about it. What was your experience kind of getting to learn the Cardinals? I mean, when you were younger, you were still in St. Louis, and I know that they really came to prominence in the 80s after Whitey Herzog acquired Ozzie Smith. and was able to kind of get rid of who was the guy that he couldn't stand? It was
Terry
dude he couldn't. Pendleton. Yeah. And he was like, all right, cool. If Ozzie comes, and then they started building the team and end up copywriting Whitey Ball and all of that. And we was able to see a team that couldn't even get 60 or 70 home runs from the whole team within a season go on to win the 82 Super Bowl World Series and to still stay dominant in a major league that was basically still trying to use home run hitters as the way to win baseball games. But that's not the baseball team you grew up with. You grew up a little earlier than the 80s. And I know that, there was folks in the 60s like Bob Gibson, Dick Allen, Kurt Flood. I'm just curious about your experience as a Cardinals fan growing up.
You are impressive, man. I know these folks. And first off, let me congratulate you on this podcast, man. This is beautiful. I love the entire team that you guys have together. I really believe that, Stephen A. Smith and Shannon Sharp, you guys got to watch out because these young brothers are coming and they're going to make an impact. So I just want to congratulate you on that. And you're absolutely right. I came up in what I consider the heyday of baseball. I mean, all the teams had their specific players, but I remember Vince. I don't know if I should call you by what we call you or not.
You can call me. It's fine. Vinny's fine.
Vinny. All right, Vinny. I remember when I used to go to the ball game with my bros from 8th grade. We would literally take the bus down. I mean, we were little kids, and we take the bus down, and we start at the top in the reserve seat. And by the time the 6th inning came down, we was down there almost in the box seats because we slipped down to get closer and closer. But let me tell you something, man. The team that really got me was the 67 and 68 St. Louis Cardinals. If you think about it, it was a team that was, like the dream team to me. They had Orlando Cepeda on first base. They had Julian Javier on second base. They had Dal Maxfield as shortstop. They had Mike Shannon on third base. Behind the plate was Tim McCarver. Now look out here in the outfield. They had Lou Brock. Who was the base stealing champion, right? And they had Kurt Flood, who most of these guys were making these huge dollars today. Owe all of that to Kurt Flood because Kurt Flood started bargaining.
Because he wasn't going to Philly. They tried to send him to Philly, and he was like,
Yeah, Kurt Flood was controlling his own destiny. I'm not a real. You might put me on a playing card, but you just can't deal me like this. Is what Kurt Flood said, right? And then think about this. They even brought in Roger Maris, who was a stick home run hitter who literally had the single season home run record, I believe, of 61 at that particular time. So it was just a real good time for me. But the clincher that really brought me in was the pitchers, man. You mentioned my hero, Bob Gibson. But do you realize that 67 team also had a guy on it, a left-hander by the name of Steve Carlton? Man, I don't know how they ever lost a game. To be honest, they were just absolutely fantastic. But I love the 85 Cardinals. I loved it because it gave me and you the opportunity to bond. I remember carrying you in my arms. We would go down there and I put you on my neck sometimes and we walk over and, you enjoyed it. I enjoyed it. Your mother enjoyed it because it got us out the house. And we just had an opportunity. We just had an opportunity to do the things we love. For example, you may remember this. I used to go to the game and we would get seats behind the Cardinals bench. And I would just have to boo Terry Pendleton not Terry Pendleton. I would have to boo Darryl Porter because he was so bad. Darryl Porter was bad. I would be yelling,
you booed our own team
in the hit for him. Put a pitch. He was horrible, man. He couldn't hit. He could catch okay, but he couldn't hit worth a darn, But I love the game, and you and I also had to stop this coup that was going on between Jack Buck and Mike Shannon, who was announcing at that time. They were talking up Tommy Herr like he was the second.
Oh yeah.
right? And here is Willie McGee. He got every record,
MVP.
every statistic in the book. Obviously the MVP for that year, but they wanted Tommy Hurst so much, they were talking about him, and we would always yell MVP whenever Willie McGee came up because we knew the truth, and the truth was shown out in the end. Willie McGee was the MVP.
Now, we reign and we love Willie McGee because he was fast, he was a hitter, he had a batting average that stayed over 3, but if I'm not mistaken, back in the day, they had a different nickname for Willie McGee, did they not?
Look, I'm just absolutely angry. They tried to label him E.T. McGee. And this is when the movie E.T. was out, right? And they labeled him E.T. McGee. Like he didn't look like a human being. I'm saying, come on, y'all got to be kidding. This made me even more determined to go down there and support this brother. And he's a good guy. Let me tell you how good
he still works for them.
Huh?
He still works for them.
I know. Let me tell you how good he is, though. Willie McGee, and this is background stuff a lot of people don't know. Willie McGee was such a humble character that he was invited to be the guest speaker at a big event in St. Louis, right? And they were looking for him because the event was about to start. But do you know Willie McGee, with his humble self, was outside in line preparing to buy a ticket to enter the event. That's the kind of humility this guy had. He didn't want somebody to just expect him to not do his part. He lived that in his life, and he played that way on the field. He was fast. He was accurate with his throws. He could hit for power, although he didn't have a whole lot of home runs, but he could hit for power and he hit for average. Willie McGee was the truth.
Well, let me ask you this, and then we'll probably have to start wrapping up because Dave's got to move on.
Good.
But so you were able to experience a 67 World Series champion Cardinals with Bob Gibson, who also hit home runs in 67, which is crazy because, you know, pitchers don't really hit like that anymore unless you're Shohei Ohtani. But you also got to see the 82 Cardinals when they faced the Brewers with Robin Yount. My question for you is, who do you think would beat who? Do you think the 67 Cardinals would beat the 82 Cardinals or vice versa?
I don't think anybody could beat the 67 Cardinals. I'm serious. I think the 67 Cardinals were supremacy in Major League Baseball. And, you know, the 67 Cardinals would have won in 68 if it wasn't for Denny McClain. Denny McClain was the last person to have 31 wins in baseball, right? Think about that, 31 wins. Now you can't get a pitcher to go past the 4th inning. They pulling them out. Bob Gibson was pitching 12, 13, 14 innings, falling on his face, throwing the ball so hard he would fall down. He had to get up and wipe the dirt off his nose. Bob Gibson, these guys were the truth, man. They played hurt, they played hard, and they were winners. And I was so happy, son, to be able to share some of those moments with you. It made me so glad to hoist. Listen, I would hoist you on my shoulders right now if you wasn't a grown man. And we'd go down there and do it again.
I am a boy, Damon. I'm a man. I'm a full-grown man. Nobody hoist me. No, but you can take Kiki on this. Well, I mean, I've been continuing the tradition. You know, I took the fam to some Cardinals games. In fact, Ty and I, who's in the chat right now, we're going to go check out the Cardinals when they play in Jupiter this spring training, when they play against whichever New York team he decides to root for this year. I think he's a Mets fan this year instead of a Yankees fan. I think that, you know, New York folks, they just fair weather. I'm saying that knowing y'all listening too. But I just want to say I really appreciate it. I mean, you know, you've tried to put me on to a lot of things and everything don't stick, but this one sticked. You know what I'm saying? Stuck. So I hope that maybe, you know, we get a chance, maybe we can go see a game together when you don't have, you know, too much going on in your oh so exciting, oh so oversaturated schedule in your retirement.
Oh, man.
You're like the most busy retired guy I know.
That'd be lovely. Maybe we can go to an AAU game and see the Jaguars play.
That's right.
Something like that. But let me end up, man. I'm so proud of you young guys. I just really want to wish you the absolute best. I think that you guys are doing a yeoman's job, and I know that's an old-fashioned word, but I see some very high IQs on this stage. I know Vinny's IQ. Y'all don't, but I do. And I know there's some equally as high, well, maybe not equally as high, but pretty high IQs on this stage with them. Okay, all right, man. Maybe I messed that up. I might have messed that up, Solo. You might have a high one too.
But I had a question. The race, yeah. Out of all the 11 championships that y'all have, y'all got 11 championships,
which is number 2 in Major League Baseball.
Only second
right?
to the Yankees.
Second only to the Yankees, who I believe have 27. If I'm not mistaken.
Now, and that's because they're the oldest team in the world.
Thank you for pointing that out, Vince. He's going to make sure we know that. That's my boy. Out of the 11 championships, there was one in 2006 and there was one in 2011. Yes. And I'm only picking those two, but you can pick any one of them. Which was your best championship? Because obviously you've been watching all the championships since '67, right? So, and that's a year after I was born. Okay. Yeah. I probably did watch that game. Didn't know.
Young man.
Hey, you closer to my dad's.
Yeah, I know.
You're my age.
That's right. That's right. That's the only why you hanging out with these old people. Get your young behind down the street. But my question was, which one that I know when it comes to football, there's a couple championships that I really remember till today. What's one that you remember that you think is the best championship that your team has won, that you saw that was all that to you?
Can I answer this in a couple of different ways?
Please. Yeah, go ahead.
Okay, number one, let me just throw this in, because Atlanta, everybody was raving on Atlanta for a while. Atlanta wasn't crap until we sent them Terry Pendleton. All right, he was the third baseman, 5'9", short as whatnot. He was so close to the ball, he never missed one, and he could hit real good, because by the time they were able to get the ball down to where he was able to get a good eye on it, and he could hit well. Atlanta was made a better team by the Cardinals trading Terry Pendleton there. Now let me get to your question, Solo. I think, and I'm going to say this again, the '67 team was the best. I don't think there's any team today who can match up with the '67 team for a number of different reasons: for power, for speed, for agility, for tenacity, and for desire to win. I think the '67 team was the best. And the '82 and those other teams, they were all good. But the series that I have the most agony over, and I can't remember his name, I should be able to, is the I-70 series. I don't know if you guys
Kansas
remember
City and
St. Louis and Kansas City.
With George Brett.
First baseman let the ball
go. First baseman let it go. But no. That was Boston.
Was that the Boston series?
That was Boston. You're talking about where the ref called for the first the play was out. Like we caught the ball on first base, but the ref said that it was safe, but he was out. And after that, the games just started falling apart. I think these games I think this was 83, the year after we won, where we had to play Kansas City. I could be wrong though. I'm going to go research. I'm going to go research that. But I remember distinctly. Talking about Kurt Schilling.
You could be right. You could be right on that. But I'm going to go research it. But there was a play that I watched where the first baseman just missed the ball. It went right between his legs, and man, the whole city of St. Louis just let out a sigh. Because we felt the momentum change. That was the most impactful series, not because of the win, but because we should have won, and that turned the tide for us. So listen, I know you guys have much better things to talk about, much younger and better looking people that you need to get to. So I'm going to leave you now, but I'm just going to encourage you guys, and I'm going to pray the very best for everything you guys put your hand to. I'll talk to you later, guys.
Hey, let me just real quick, man. Thank you very much. The one and only. That's my boy. Appreciate you for coming on, and I hope this ain't the last time, Pops.
Go Duval. Go Duval.
See, that's wrong. That was wrong. and right at the same time. That was wrong and right at the same time. That was wrong and right at the same time.
Well, real quick, just to update. Since we've been texting Black Ron, you remember Black Ron? You know Black Ron.
That's my dude, Black Ron.
He said he want to be on, so I sent them the link, but it was an hour after I saw his text, so maybe he'll join us. Black Ron is like all def digital, like Black Ron.
Yeah.
Black Ron, you know what I'm saying?
Let me tell you why I like Black Ron. Black Ron, first time Black Ron met me, he started picking on me. He didn't know me for 2 seconds. He didn't know if I was a gangster, a killer, or nothing. He was like, "Who this ugly nigga is?" I was like, "What?" He was like, and so we went back and forth. I met him through Marsha Brandon, my ex-roommate, and me and Black Ron did shows together. He's in my book, one of the top comics in the country.
He literally is. And he's so smart. I mean, I did cruises with him, and Ron was one of the first dudes, and this is going to sound real dumb, but in the era where there was a lot of pants slagging, he was wearing his pants up to his nipples. You know what I'm saying? He was,
but
he looked good doing it. And he's so smart. He's so cerebral. He calls himself the Malcolm X of comedy. So definitely, if you're still watching Ron, we definitely going to get you on here. But I want to answer your question. You asked about the 2006-2011 Cardinals. And for me, it was 2011. I'll tell you why. 2006,
that's why I asked that question.
And we had Jotty, and they did their thing. But in 2011, it came down to the 9th inning, baby. We're talking about it's 2-2-0. All right, Cardinals, if I'm not mistaken, against the Astros, right? And Freeze, David Freeze goes up to bat. Hometown kid. He's from St. Louis, right? It's 0-2, bottom of the 9th inning. And Freeze hits a pop over there to left field, which doesn't even go out. It hits the wall. There's 2 on base, so those 2 go in to score. One of them is Pujols, and he ties the game, and then hits a home run in the 12th inning in extra innings, bro. It don't get no better than that. As a hometown kid, you from St. Louis, and you saved the World Series, bro, and you're not even Pujols. You're not even the franchise. You're not even Yachty. Give me a break, man. That's what the Cardinals are. We a team. We're not all based on Judge. We're not all based on Juan Soto. We're not all based on Mike Trout. We're not all based on Shohei Ohtani and Freddie Freeman. We a whole team, bro. That's why we win. And when we win, we happy with the team. And when we lose, we don't blame it on one person. Because
when y'all lose, y'all tell the building.
Is voted the best baseball city in the United States, and the fan base was voted by Mad Dog Russo as the best baseball fan base out of all baseball fans. So yes, to answer your question, 2011 is more significant because came from the heart. David Freeze, a hometown kid, win the game.
Yeah, well, 1967 was the dad. That's what he loved. He loved. Hey, he thinks the 67 ones are the team, and I'm looking
about 06 and 11 though.
Yeah, I'm checking it out. From Google. Google thinks 2006 and 2011 was the best and #1 watched. Baseball
in 1967, everybody didn't have a TV. I mean, this game was in black and white. I mean, I don't think in 2011 they have
I mean, the tickets were cheap in 1967. The tickets was cheap, so people were actually at the game. They were actually at the game. But I took the glove. I took the gloves off for Pops, man, because I got respect for Pops. But good thing y'all got memories. Because winning is not something that the Cardinals are used to as of late.
How? They got 11 championships. You can't dog them out like that.
Last one since 2011.
Okay, all right.
It's a lot of teams they won since 2000 something.
Oh, I wouldn't know. I wouldn't know anything about that. I don't.
Hey, you know what's funny though?
Hey, what's your team? What's your team?
Oh God! Which one of our teams won the World Series in 2024?
I'm about to tell you.
Which one of our teams? How about which one of our teams played in the World Series in 2024?
Oh, which one of our cities had enough money to buy a team that would actually go to the World Series and does almost every year, and for some strange reason chokes in the 5th inning of the World Series? I mean, I don't know. You just tell me. I don't know. It wasn't the Cardinals.
Listen, when you've been winning since 1967, it ain't my fault y'all don't know how to balance y'all's books.
Oh wow! Okay,
you've been winning
yo,
championships
we'll
since
keep
back
that
then.
same energy. Keep that same Juan Soto energy. keep that same Juan Soto energy.
I just read something.
Every team that's winning last year is winning because of us.
I gotta say
y'all
this.
just take Goldschmidt from us? We went and gave Edmund to the Dodgers. Give me a break, man. Every team has something. Even Shield.
If it was about the team. If it was about the team, Goldschmidt would have said, "I ain't going nowhere."
Right now.
I'm staying
every year. We don't. We look.
He would have said, "I'm a year for life."
Give me a year to let.
Yo, man, he got you on that, Vince.
Give me a year. Let Mozeliak run out his contract. Let somebody else take over as a president of baseball operations in St. Louis. Let's see what Wilson Contreras does at first base. Let's see if Mason Witt has a breakout sophomore year. Let's see if we can keep Newt Barr healthy the whole entire year. Let's see if Alec Burleson can actually produce this year like he did last year in the beginning half in the same way he do in the second half. Let's see if we can stay healthy this entire year, and we might be in contention. We know the Yankees gonna do what they do. You're expected to. Y'all get mad.
Yeah, dude.
Y'all don't win the World Series.
Something to you. Hold up, let me catch you. You know me, I ain't too good at the baseball, but according to Google, out of 41 World Series, New York done won 27 of them, and the Cardinals only won 11. Book is closed. Let's check the book.
But that's the second most winningest team. We're the second out of all of the teams. The only next one in contention is 8. I believe 8 is the Dodgers, right? It's 27, then 11, then 8.
That's twice as many championships as.
No, I know math, bro. I know math. You don't have to break down math. I know what math is.
According to Google. According to Google.
All right. Hey,
Cardinals ain't gonna win.
Have their way.
Another championship
having their way.
3,000.
Let me take a quick moment to shout out the comments. I want to shout out Joe Green, who commented earlier, and my boy Howard Oddstrom is back again. This is my dog. We go back like things on crack. My neighbor from Winter Springs. And let me just read this comment real quick, and I'll solo screen it so I don't take it away. It says, in 87, I won the tickets to the World Series in St. Louis. The Twins defeated the. Oh, why are you bringing this up, man? You know what I'm saying? Anybody ask you about when the Cardinals lost? Not just playing Twins, but yeah, I remember that. That was Kirby Puckett.
Kirby Puckett.
That was Kirby Puckett. If I'm not mistaken, that was Kirby Puckett, and then was hot back then. So yeah, man, yeah. The Dodgers will win 12. Yo, hold on, bro. What? You too?
Yeah,
I just said it. I said it.
Thank you, Howard. I don't know. Thank you.
He might be right because the Dodgers are not real right now. They have an AI team. Like, it's completely ridiculous. Like, the lineup is nuts, and that's just
Google say y'all ain't gonna win until 3,000.
Yes. A birdie just told me
really
the
don't like the
winningest team in National League history. But check it. The Dodgers, not only position, but even pitching now is ridiculous. Blake Snell, Tyler Glasnow, Yamamoto, and they went and got Tanner Scott in the closing position for the bullpen. Who's going to beat the Dodgers? Who's going to beat the Dodgers? There's nobody. The only team, and I've said this, and Ty, I'm on record saying this, that the Dodgers need to be careful of because they were not healthy last year in the NL is the Atlanta Braves. The Atlanta Braves only had really one of their pure starters. Marcell Ozuna played 162 games last year. They didn't have Acuna, who had a 40-70 season the year before, 40 home runs and 70 stolen bases, which is also funny because the 85 Cardinals had a combined total of 314 stolen bases. Vince Coleman had 110 stolen bases in 1985. You know what I'm saying? Like, your little 50-50, your little 59, that ain't nothing compared to what we was doing back in the day. They was still in 100+ within a season, homeboy, with a shorter season, by the way. But anyway, I digress. So if we get Atlanta to actually have a healthy Ozzie Albies, a healthy Ronald Acuna, a healthy Austin Riley, it's a wrap. And keep Marcell Ozuna healthy. They still got the Cy Young winner, the Cy Young pitch winner, Chris Sale on the mound. I think Atlanta is a problem in the National League. The only reason they weren't this year is because of the injuries. So, Dodgers, before you collect your second year in a row or the third of this decade, I think that the Mets and the Atlanta Braves in the National League will have something to say about that. So that is.
What about your Cardinals? Will they have something to say about
year. This is a bye.
Will they have something to say about that, or will they be sitting chilling in Jacksonville with the rest of them? Honestly, will they be sitting with the rest of them?
The Cardinals I think that this is going to be a bye year.
I will say this much. I'm looking at this online, and the Cardinals have the dopest championship 2011 ring I have seen for a baseball team in my whole entire life. They spent some money. I mean, when you get the crown jewel on your hand, it shouldn't look this damn good. Good God Almighty, boy, you got to look it up, boy. That's a ring.
I've seen it. It's dope. Beautiful. But last thing on the baseball tip, I'll just say that because you asked the question, this year the Cardinals have not acquired anybody in the offseason. All they've done is try to put all their star players on the clearance rack. We put Goldsmith from first base and we sent them over to New York for about 15 mil. We put Nolan Arenado on the chopping block, and only because he has a no trade clause is he not gone. I think that the Cardinals were trying to get Alex Bregman, but I could be wrong. But Nolan sounds like he's going to be back. So the Cardinals have basically said out of Ali Marmol's mouth, we're going to see what they do. And that's not the way you want to. You don't want to start off your year talking about we gonna see what happened. We gonna see. You want to be like, yo, we coming to win. We finna win. But Marlo's like, we gonna let the young bucks do their thing. We gonna let Mason win.
Where they practice at? Where they practice at? Well, do they practice in Jacksonville?
Now they practice in Jupiter. We're gonna go down there. You talk about for a spring. You stupid.
I can't Yo, let's go to the NBA. I've been waiting on that all day. Let's go to the NBA.
All right, let's do a little NBA chat real quick, man. I haven't, and this is gonna weigh heavily on you and Kai. So let's go ahead and go a little bit into the NBA, if you don't mind, and let's see what it is that's going on. So a couple stories that are going on in the NBA, and then we'll go ahead and wrap up. Is I guess we're starting to get into the interim of the season, and it just feels like because the All-Star game is approaching, right? But people don't really necessarily pay attention to it. I was just about to get into that. We don't really pay attention to the All-Star game because they don't really play no more, right? They definitely don't. And correct me if I'm wrong, but this year, last year and the year before, a G Leaguer has won the slam dunk contest with the All-Star game festivities. So will we ever?
He ain't a G Leaguer no more. That boy back at the house. He back at the house.
So what's going on in the NBA where like the star players, unlike they used to back in the day when we used to have Vince Carter in the slam dunk contest, when we used to have Jordan and Kobe in the slam dunk contest, what's the deal now? Are they waiting for sponsorships? Like, is it just they don't feel like being creative no more? Like, why are we not having anybody interested in the NBA in All-Star? And that's just my question. As for y'all, I'm sure y'all got plenty of stuff to talk about. So don't let me drive the NBA combo.
Go ahead, man. Handle that, because I got too much.
LeBron, it's LeBron's fault.
Shit!
It is.
Wow.
It is honestly. As you just mentioned,
write that down.
The aforementioned names, the LeBron, the Kobe Bryants, the Michael Jordans, the premier players in the league who all starred in at one point in their career in the slam dunk contest. I remember when LeBron first came to the league. I remember watching him in the McDonald's All-American slam dunk contest. And he was cocking the ball back here, dunking, doing all kind of wild stuff, just very easily. It was it didn't seem hard at all how he was jumping off. So everybody looked forward to him doing the same thing in the NBA when he came into the league. For the first year or two, he basically said that, he wasn't, he had to think about it. Then he I think after that, he basically came back and said, I'm not doing it. And after that, you saw a kind of a shift in the NBA where a lot of the stars that you would think would be the ones that would get into the dunk contest did it. You would get a lot of the sub players that would that were known as high flyers that would jump in. So you would get your I think the last premier star that I would say probably was Blake Griffin. And then I don't know if Ja Morant has been in the somebody, if anybody, if he hasn't, well, as has Anthony. What about Anthony Edwards?
Anthony Edwards was offered, he never went.
Okay, so then the last premier player that I'm aware of that went into the dunk contest would have been Blake Griffin. Outside of that, you get your Zach LaVines. Wouldn't necessarily call him a premier player, but he did win. You get your
Dwight Howard, the Dwight Howard. Yeah, I see where you're going with it because
that was years ago.
Yeah,
but
you're right.
But as far as like premier players doing the dunk contest, after LeBron said no, that he wasn't going to do it, I guess the other premier athletes said, well, if he ain't going to do it, why would I do it? You know, it's no real reward other than this little plaque that says, you know, you got you know. So it just doesn't mean what it used to mean to the league. And plus, it's not even done the same. Like I just like it doesn't feel the same. It doesn't have that same. I know a lot of people that don't even tune in to the 3-point contest and the dunk contest no more. That used to be what everybody tuned in for, was for the 3-point contest and the dunk contest. So that should tell you all you need to know right there. So maybe that's another reason why some of the premier players are not too interested in doing it. I think they need to incentivize it more. I think they did change that up, and they did incentivize it, and they do give money out for doing it. But I think if we as fans want to see the premier players do it, then they need to take up the collection plate and get that money up, because that's what these NBA players. That's what these NBA players recognize. They don't recognize dialogue; they recognize dollars. Mm-hmm. And so if you want to see them in there, you better get your money up. One of these wealthy individuals that love basketball, go ahead and invest. Put a notice out there that whoever wins the NBA slam dunk contest and competes in the slam dunk contest, you'll throw them a couple million or something like that, man. I don't know, but that you got to incentivize it at this point.
Let me jump in there. Let me jump in there. I agree 100%. This boy on point. LeBron James destroyed the dunk contest when he refused to get in the dunk contest because he had no style dunk. Only dunks that LeBron have is forcible dunks. Just jump up, boom. He has no style. He has no charisma. He has no, Anthony style dunks. It's just one way. Boom. He knew he wasn't going to win that dunk contest, and he knew he couldn't get it, but he destroyed the dunk. And now you say, what can they do? The money is there because they've been giving away money. NBA has plenty of money to give, because when they did the end tournament thing that they do early in the season, everybody gets $500,000 for participating. So that's $500,000 that other players who are coming from the G League don't even make. And for them to make it to that tournament, they got that money. Now let's move on to the All-Star. The All-Star, they came up with some ideas this year. I don't know if you heard that yet, but they have some ideas that they might implement into this new All-Star weekend for the dunk contest. They're gonna invite a lot of young influencers around the country, not the internet. I'm talking about the NBA dunk dudes who put all these videos all up. They're gonna bring them in. I think with them bringing it in and challenges the NBA players for, because these cats don't have no champion. Don't have no deal with the NBA. They want to be in the NBA, but they can't be in the NBA. And listening to ESPN talk about how they're gonna implement this new system for this year's All-Star game, I think it's going to be great. But as for what you're saying, he destroyed it. He destroyed it. Everybody knows LeBron destroyed it, because with him being at the height that he was, him not being and going along with the suit and showing up, and also to another point, and I'm gonna let Vince jump on in there. Let me just end my thing with this. until the NFL, not the NFL, but NBA, until the NBA recognizes that LeBron is on his way out, and they doing it. They doing it because I don't know if you follow the NBA. The Lakers are winning right now.
Yeah,
Lakers are winning right now
lately, right? But they started off really slow.
No, they started out great. I don't know about you. I'm an NBA. I'm an NFL. They started out great. I'm an NBA Laker fan.
I won't argue with you. That baseball.
They won their first straight 8 games. They won 8 games straight. Then they started losing, and then they start winning again. So they number 4 in the rankings right now. They number 4, and they can jump to number 2 just by winning 3 more games. They win 3 more games, they'll be down there with OKC. They'll be there, and they'll pass Denver. If Denver loses any games, they switch places with LA. And what I'm trying to say to you is the league is pushing for this because they have no face for any one of these sports because Brady left, there's no face. LeBron is going out the door, there's no face. And back to the what I was saying, what I mean by that is Lamar is one of the best football players in quarterbacks in the game. But he's so black, like what I mean, not dark as a person, but his aura and who he is all black. They don't want that as the face.
Yeah, he a Florida boy.
Yeah, Florida boy.
And so who do they got for the NBA? Nobody. They thought John Morant was gonna be it. Nobody. They have nobody. Once LeBron go, it can't be Steph. Steph can't hold that much weight, and he's about to walk out the door anyway. Steph about to go to play for somebody else. So you got to think about it. There's nobody. And Wemby, come on, man. Everybody thought Wemby was gonna be the face of the NBA. He ain't. He ain't gonna never get there. he never. It has to be somewhere where whites, blacks, kids, adults love them equally, and they love LeBron James so much that they made him the king before he was the king. And now when the king dies, and I don't mean that literally, but when the king dies, who was going to replace him? Can y'all think of a name? Any one of y'all? I'm listening. I'll wait.
Edwards.
No, Edwards is not the image that white people want. As the he doesn't politically say the right words and the right things that need to be said.
You think LeBron does? LeBron, Trayvon Martin, wear my hoodies on the court, and I'm gonna join.
And that was orchestrated by him.
Mr. Shut Up and Dribble. Mr. Shut Up and Dribble. You think that he was what white folks wanted?
Yes, they wanted him. First of all, there's 2 types of white people. There's Democrats and there's Republicans. and
I don't think that's fair.
Think about it. Come on, man. Think about it. Everybody talk about this is gonna happen. There's white people who don't want it to happen. So as long as you got a few white people out there who willing to get in the line and hold hands and kumbaya, we good. Think about it.
Sometimes you can't take Solo 100% seriously, but I think go ahead, bro.
I'll just say this, right? The NBA is in a very tough situation right now. Their viewership is down over 1 million. They last year, a decade ago, their viewership was 2.5 million views per, I guess, season. They're right now, or even game. I think that's per game. Right now, they're down to 1.4 million views per game, which is a significant drop. The NBA, and I think a lot of critics are saying that the reason that it's so down is because the play style has changed in the NBA. And it has. There's no physicality, and because of that, you're looking at a more European style of basketball that is being played in.
The Europeans play way better than we do. What you talking about? Look at the Olympics. The Olympics, we be getting up an whoop. We got to bring everybody to beat them. Because in the Olympics, you can use more physicality in the Olympics. That was proof. I watched the Olympics. I watched all the games.
Hold on. Let Ty finish his point, though.
I'm just saying, you ain't gonna never play like them.
All right, let's play first take style. Let's let each other finish your point.
So right now they that's what a lot of critics are attributing the the downtick in viewership. When you watch these games now, a lot of the players, the star players, aren't playing. That's another thing. You will see them for one. Well, not just I'm not talking about. Well, Jimmy's has a specific situation. Jimmy is in the middle of.
He just
Jimmy,
got suspended.
well, Jimmy is in the middle of a rough, a tough situation because Jimmy is in a place he doesn't want to be, and they have not moved to trade him. So I feel like both sides are like aggravated with each other, and neither one really wants to help the other one, and that's so he's in a tough situation. What I'm talking about is the lack of play by the superstars. Superstars 10 years ago, because what I'm seeing a lot of is a lot of talk about usage and how these NBA players don't want to play as many games and as many minutes and all of that kind of stuff because they want to prolong their careers. And I get it, but the problem with that is for decades and decades before you, players played full seasons. They played back-to-backs. They played grueling basketball despite the fact that maybe they didn't want to show up. Now they give the players options. They have what one of the options is the call out sick option. So now, like you may have a player not on the injury report, but right before the game, they suddenly come out with an illness, and then they're out for a game, and then they're suddenly healed the next game, which is the following day. So it's a lot of you start to see that happening a lot around the league, and then you start seeing these games not even competitive. Like I watched 3 games last night, one which went into triple overtime. I think triple overtime. And that was a dope game. It was Orlando against I think Washington. No, Orlando against the Heat. The Heat and Orlando went.
I was going to say that's Orlando to the Heat. I watched that game too.
Yeah, that was a pretty good game. But outside of that, you also had Dallas play Washington and beat them by over 30 points. And then you have this happening more and more often. So a lot of the star players that people come to see, they don't see because they're either on the bench or they're not playing or whatever.
They're not playing.
The NBA needs to figure this out, and they need to figure it out quickly because they're losing a lot of the viewers, and I think they're losing them to the point that people might not come back. So this is where they have to make a decision as far as what product you're willing to put out there on the court. Right now, this is not the product that a lot of true NBA fans want to see. So
let me make this point. You said something about Jimmy. Okay, information I got was Jimmy showed up to the arena to play. He was doing his they was having practice, and Jimmy went into the practice room, and they tell you who's gonna start tonight. And they said they were pulling Jimmy off the bench. He had an argument with the coach on the court, saying some few words about him ever coming off the bench. And so Pat Riley, Mr. I gotta have full control, Jerry Jones, suspended him for 5 games. Now, on your point that you said he's not happy, a lot of the NBA players are not happy, but they have a better deal than what Michael Jordan had. Remember now, the contract is set for you to get paid per game. So Jimmy, he got suspended last night 5 games. Out of those 5 games, Jimmy makes $500 and something thousand a game. If he's not hurt, the company keeps the money. If he's hurt, they have to pay him anyway. And what you were saying, that they say they sick and they want to go home, they have a better structured deal, just like Kawhi. Kawhi don't have to show. He don't have to show up if he has a contract where he don't have to make a phone call and say, I'm not coming to work today. That's the contract he has. It's some weak ass negotiations so these players get to just do what they want to do. Back in the days, they didn't do that. Michael Jordan had strict rules that they had to follow. If you didn't show up, you was in trouble. That's what's going on with the NBA. They too light on the players. One, they too light on the players. They're not hardcore. They're not telling them like old boy who the old coaches who coached LeBron. I mean, coached Magic Johnson and people like that. They were real coaches, real get in your face. But you can't get in the face of a grown man who makes more money than you. You can't get in his face. So I agree with you. It is softening up. The whole NBA is softening up, and that's why people ain't watching it. They want to see some aggressiveness. They want to see some crazy stuff. That's the only thing that makes news. So unless you get a player that's going to come in there and bam on everybody all the time and never get hurt, until you get that, you're going to get a lot of soft, you know what I'm saying? Because remember, I hear the music coming on. I feel like I'm on the on a show where they try to wrap it up and everybody, all right, they can wrap it up. All I'm saying to you is this, bro, is the NBA still leads in late night television, but they fall back on the ratings that they was top ratings, because they talked about this the other day. I watch a lot of sports television, and they brung up the fact that the NBA ratings. But Stephen F. said something else too. He said even though they're low, they're not below standard of the ratings of television viewing of that night. They still the highest. Sports is still the highest watched television next to anything else. So you're right, they fell down, but I don't think the NBA is going anywhere. And I think they need to learn a few lessons so they can move forward.
All right, well, listen, fellas, we unfortunately are probably going to have to leave it there. But before we go, gentlemen, from each and every one of you, did any of you happen to have any final thoughts on the way out? We'll start with Solo, go to Ty, and then let's go ahead and get up. Solo, if you could keep it under 60 seconds, that would be awesome.
It'll be about 51. But listen, remember, people, I have one thing to say when it comes to sports and all that's involved. Remember this, and never forget it. Jacksonville suck. They suck, and they need to get rid of them. My final word.
All right, bad time. Final thoughts.
Oh man, to the NBA, man, we need a new product. We need to make some decisions that are going to change the way that people view the product that's being put out there. To the NFL, if you see it, start calling it, refs. Solo's mad. Solo said y'all got it in for every team that plays against the Chiefs. So let's make sure we make those calls this Super Bowl, because I need my Philadelphia Eagles.
Are we coming back? We coming back after the Super Bowl?
Yeah, we on Tuesday.
I mean, are we going to talk about the Super Bowl is what I'm saying. Do we have a date that we can all talk about what happened at the Super Bowl?
Yes.
Okay.
This ain't something just one off. We definitely gonna talk about it. But there's no game next week, so we have to speculate. But anyway,
I gotta go get a Kansas City shirt just in case.
Hey, you go do that, bro. And I'm gonna send you a Cardinals jersey too. Real quick.
I'll take a Cardinals jersey. Ain't nothing wrong with that. They got 11 wins. Ain't nobody gonna argue with me over that, except for him. He got 27 wins. So I'll take a Cardinal, and it's red. You know I love red. So, I'll take that.
Okay. Excuse my drunk Uncle Solo. He definitely has much to say, but I think the moral of the story is Taylor Swift does not play football, so she cannot determine the outcome, and neither can the NFL. You have to play your ass off, Mr. Patrick Mahomes, and I can't wait to see what Jalen Hurts brings to that Chiefs energy. Other thing is, would not be no 85 Cardinals, wouldn't be no 80s Cardinals, there wouldn't no 60s Cardinals. That's the moral of the story for me. And the NBA, y'all need to step y'all game up. Why y'all afraid to have a dunk contest in your own league? And threes are kind of pussy, bro. Just saying, no disrespect, but I don't know.
Tired of the threes,
step into the paint. We used to step in the paint like Waka Flocka would say, but on the way out, man, just want to say thanks. Anybody who tuned in, appreciate you if you're watching on the replay. I'm so glad he has pants on. Live, love, and laugh. And make sure y'all go follow Solo Jones. He is on the Instagrams at Go Solo Jones. I'm your boy, the real Vince Taylor. That's Bad Top Bricks. And we, ladies and gentlemen, is out this bird. I haven't figured out a real cool way for us to leave, so we'll just go ahead and just leave it like this for now. Appreciate y'all. Deuces.